Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Bridge Project. I've been reading the feedback on the previous video. It seems like as usual you guys want more. We'll keep doing more of these videos then. But also quite a few people saying that they'd like to see some of the failed attempts as well. So what I've been doing is playing it over and over again, and when it looks like I've got one that's going to pass, I show you that. So I think we'll actually show some fails as well, and I'm thinking what I want to do with this series is just experiment and mix it up from each episode to the next. So maybe in the next episode what we'll do is maybe have some fun just derping around with custom tests and building some silly bridges, or even looking at the level editor. So anyway, this bridge right here, I think it fails, and the reason that it fails for is kind of annoying, and I think it means I have to make some tweaks to what we have here. But basically the joint in the middle, when the pistons on either side pull it up and then it gets put back down again, they don't realign properly, which is kind of annoying. This is also the level, it's the same one we left on last time. I've just been playing it a few times, trying out different bridges. We have concrete anchor points down the bottom here. It seems like they're pretty solid, like there's no consequence. If you put a lot of strain on it from one direction, then the concrete might fall over to one side. It seems like it's a solid anchor point like these other ones. So enough talking about it, let's test it. What do we have first of all? 3 buses and then the boat. So it's after the boat that we're going to have some problems. And then we have 3 of this up here. I don't even know what that is. I think it might be an earthquake. And apparently I've been told in the comments that the way it calculates stress on this isn't very accurate, which would seem right because it's symmetrical, so why is there all this extra stress on the other side? Anyway, this is where things go wrong, and I'm not sure how we can correct it. But let's zoom in, because when it comes back down, I think we're going to see what went wrong last time I tested it. Okay, so it comes back down, and then it's not going to realign. Although it looks like it is. And I am pretty sure I've done nothing to this. I've only just logged into play. I was playing this a little bit last night, you know, waiting to read the feedback before I recorded anything, and it didn't work. So I don't know what went wrong that time, but now it's okay, which is pretty cool. And now earthquake. Okay, 3 seconds of earthquake maybe, or just 3 tests. I'm not sure. Oh no, a bit fell down on the bottom there. But apparently that's okay. It's all right for a part of our bridge to fall apart. Okay, so time for the next level, and this time I am not going to be making any of my tests off camera. I'm going to be recording all of them, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some fails involved in this one because by the looks of it I'm going to be using cables, and that always takes me a long time to figure out. But I think what I'm going to do for my first attempt is try and make an arc again with the iron and the steel, and it's a possibility that I won't have enough materials for that. If so, what I'll probably do is make like a support beam on each side that goes up and then have the cables drop down. Okay, there is that arc shape we're looking for. I'm not sure if this is the best structure though. It's going to put a lot of stress on these beams down here at the bottom, and also this middle bit here. We've got a iron beam hanging down there. I'm not sure if I should connect them up over that side as well, but then it might create a lot of weight in the middle. So anyway, I think we should just see what happens, and that does not look good. That definitely, I'm pretty sure that's not going to pass the test. Now another thing we've got to look out for is those, oh, and was that it? Was that literally about what I was about to describe? Oh my god, that failed so much. Let's stop that. Right, what we have to look out for are these cross beams, and look, here they are. It makes them right across the middle, so that was doomed to fail. I think what we should do is rebuild these 2 joints here, because you can see the buses are just going to hit those and it's going to fall apart. Okay, let's go. Let's do that again. I don't think there's any cross beams anywhere else, but I'm not too confident about that one, that's for sure. Looks good, now that they're not bumping into any poles. Okay, and now's the train. This is the real stress test. If it passes the train... actually, no, it's not. I keep getting that the wrong way around. Yeah, the cars is going to be just fine. But the train... yeah, the train's going to make it suffer. Looking good so far. And if this passes, this will be one of the first times since the first few levels that... and it doesn't look like it's going to pass, that I've actually done it in one go. Oh. Okay, apparently that is good enough. Excellent. Sweet, I done it in one go. How cool is that? Okay, level complete, so let's have a look at what's going to be next. And rural map number 11. I think this is possibly the last level. So we have some suspension cables, we have to survive an earthquake, a train, 6 buses, and this is the biggest bridge we're probably going to build yet. So we got no anchor points down below, so I think I'm going to have to do, like I described in the last episode, have some sort of support beam going up, and then a suspension cable that goes across the middle, and then cables hanging down to hold everything up. Okay, here it is, and I've noticed something strange right before I've hit record. The suspension in the middle, if you look, is lower on this side than it is there, and I think that's something to do with the way you place it. When you put the 2 points in and then you drag it down, I think if you move it left to right it will kind of slack over to the side that you click on, and that's something I've only just picked up on, so that could be a really big flaw in this bridge. But if you have a look over at the side here, what I've done is I've gone with this anchor point here, rather than having this bit one over so it's above this one. I think it would just be a little bit sturdier like that. So anyway, let's get on with the test. Oh dear. Oh, that was embarrassing. Something else I forgot to point out. I didn't put any beams going from there to there, which is something I would normally do. And I guess you can see that's something I definitely should do. And I've also noticed we've got those cross beams on there as well. So it looks like I've got some more editing to do. Okay, I've added in these ones on either side, those two there. I've done that on this side as well. Might need an extra one on either side for the last support beam. Oh god. Yeah, definitely going to need it by the looks of it. Let's see what happens when the buses go across. Oh, I wouldn't want to be on that bus. Awful, awful. Okay, let's try again. So again, I've added in a few more beams at the bottom to give it more support, and well, I wouldn't be surprised if it falls apart again. There's too much strain, I think, with the suspension bridge going across, so I need a way to reduce the amount of weight that there is in the middle. I think it might be a good idea to use a little bit of this iron that we have here and build a frame. Oh, we can go from there to there, can we? That might help. And maybe have a point in the middle of it as well, which we can do. We can put one there, and I think I'm going to do that. And so that bit will connect to there as well. Let's do that on the other side and then test this one more time. Hopefully that'll help. Oh no. Controls are a little finicky. You really need a key to press select with. That would be very useful. And let's rotate the camera and zoom in so we make sure we put this on the right bit. So it is that one there. I'm not sure if that's exactly halfway across, but it definitely looks like it. So let's see if that helps reduce the strain. Probably not. It did a little bit. It did a very little bit. Okay, so I thought what I would do is move the anchor point at the top here. Well, it's not an anchor point, but that bit there that we're using for the suspension cable back a bit, because perhaps with it leaning inwards it's easier for all of this suspension cable and the weight on it to pull it inwards and make it collapse. So the bottom isn't really built for that, however it might work. The other thing that I also found was that the select tool is awful. It's just, you try and select something and sometimes that box doesn't come up, or you can actually right click on joints like this and you can delete the entire suspension cable, which was very, very useful. But anyway, I think this thing is ready for testing. We might want to put some more cables down on the bridge bit at the bottom, but let's see what happens. Oh, well, that's not a good start, is it? That's interesting, because I had some cables connected to the bits that do you know what? They were going over it for a second. Let's just edit this. Let's get rid of this cable right. Nope. Can I right click on the cable? Doesn't look like it. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of that. And then the one on the other side as well. That's interesting. It's different on this side to that side. Do you know what? I think it was connected to this bit up here. It wasn't actually attached to anything. And now I can't seem to delete it, which is useful. So you don't want to see me mess around with the select tool for ages. There's actually some problems there with trying to select it, and I totally forgot what I said a minute ago, which is to right click on things and delete them. But anyway, I've removed all of the cables that are connected to this bit here, and do you know what? I don't think it's going to help, but let's just see what happens. It kind of held out. No, I spoke too soon. Okay, I think we should give up on this, and I should delete the whole thing and try again. Okay, I've gone back to the drawing board here. I've ditched the whole suspension cable thing. Whenever I do that, I never have a good time. So I went for an arc. We started with the outside one here. If you follow that, it's a really nice arc, and then it has this small flat bit in the middle. I think that's one of the best arcs I've built on this. And then we also have a second arc, which isn't quite as... how would you say, I don't know, arc shaped. It's a bit different, but it's there on the inside, and so that provides some support to hopefully hold up all of this below it, which is being held up with iron, by the way. So I've used the lighter material, the rest of this is steel, so hopefully this will hold out. Let's test it, and that is a lot of stress for it to be under, but we'll have to wait and see. The first test is the buses, and that is pretty good. And also went through and checked all of the beams that I put down didn't have cross beams in them as well, so we don't have to worry about that happening again. The next test is the train. This is probably the real test. I think it will survive the cars and the earthquake, but the train is pretty much the heaviest thing. So here it comes. Oh god. Do you know what? It's holding out. It really is holding out. It seems like the steel can really deal with the stress, you know. It goes all the way to the red and never does it break or give way, which is awesome. And then the cars, that's going to be easy peasy right there. And then the earthquake. Let's see if it will withstand that, and then we're done. And on to the next bridge. It's looking okay. Oh. Yes, I think we've survived it. There we go, awesome. I really like that bridge, that was really nice. So let's go on to the next level. Got a new record. They're all records at the moment because it's my first time playing through on this. So this should be the last level. I think I said in the last episode, or maybe earlier in this one, that that was the last level, but I think there's 48 in total, so 12 in each area. Anyway, let's have a look at the materials we have. We have concrete, but only 20 meters of it, so let's see how deep the water is around here. If we look down here, you can see if we were to put the concrete there, it would be 6 meters, so we could have possibly one on either side. That would work. Possibly one in the middle, and we could even raise it up to around here. So there's a lot we can do with that. Let's see. We don't have any pistons, so it's not going to be a drawbridge, and we have a ton of steel. I can't help but feel we could get away with doing a fairly decent bridge around here. Let's see if we can get that to under 10. Let's just put one there and one there. And is there room for one more in the middle? There is. So I think that's going to be really easy with those points right there. So I will construct this. I think I might be able to make it completely flat, you know, and just use the concrete as the anchor points. There we go. That only took me a few seconds to build, and that looks like a really well supported bridge. We've only played around with the concrete once before, so maybe we don't know how strong those anchor points really are yet, but that should be... yeah, this should really do well. And look, there's no stress on it whatsoever. About every other bridge that I've built has had tons of stress on it. Oh, that is a little worrying. That is going to pass with flying colours. I wonder why they give you the concrete. It seems very overpowered, you know, being able to put that down there. It just means you've got extra anchor points, and they gave us 4 on either side as well, so we do have to do 2 trains again, so maybe that's where the real test is. And then we have something up there that I don't think I've seen before. That could be wind, because that's usually the little sign that you have that spins around to tell you if it's windy or not. Oh, did something just break? No, I thought the screen sort of jolted for a second then. Okay, very cool. So now we have to withstand a windstorm. Oh dear. Let's see what happens to our bridge now then. It's looking okay. And we are getting winds of 115 kilometers per hour and rising. That is insane. And that's it. I think we've passed the test. That was one of the easiest ones yet. What is up with that, hey? So, congratulations, level complete. Let's see. Don't think there's any other levels after this. Yep, we've finished it. Awesome. And then you can go back and replay previous levels. So that is going to be all for this episode. As always, let me know with some feedback. If you want to see more, hit that like button or leave a comment, and also let me know what it is you want to see, because next episode we can do whatever you want really. I've mentioned earlier in the episode about doing silly bridges, just having a laugh with the tests and watching bridges fall apart. We could also create our own map, so we could make like a sandboxy map where we build a really big insane bridge, and I can even play custom maps, so I've downloaded one from Steam as well. If any of you have this game and you've made your own maps and challenges, then send them to me. I don't know how exactly it is I can pick out a map to download, but that's something else we could do as well. I could play your maps in this series, which would be really interesting. So, like I said, leave a comment, let me know what you want to do, and I will catch you in the next episode.